Looking for the best Samsung TVs to suit your needs? In this video, we're diving into some of the top options available right now. Before we begin, don't forget to check out the links in the description to find the best deals within your budget. Let's get Number 5. Samsung DU7200. Let's start with the Samsung DU7200, a TV that shows Samsung hasn't forgotten about those of us on a budget. Starting at about $399 for the 43-inch model and going up to around $899 for the huge 85-inch version, this TV offers a lot of value for the price. The Crystal UHD processor works hard to make your regular HD content look sharp on the 4K screen. I watched some older Netflix shows, and the picture quality was noticeably better, without looking too overprocessed or fake. What surprised me the most is how Samsung managed to include their Tizen Smart platform at this price point without making the TV feel slow. You get all the major streaming apps, Netflix, Disney+, HBO Max, and they load up pretty fast. The colors look great, thanks to Samsung's per-color technology. However, don't expect the deep blacks you'd get from their more expensive models. The sound is decent for a budget TV, but you'll probably want to get a soundbar at some point. The build quality is solid too, not like some cheap TVs that feel flimsy. The gaming performance is another area where this TV stands out. It supports 4K gaming at 60 Hz, which is fine for most console gamers, and the input lag is low enough that you won't notice delays during fast-paced games. It's not on par with Samsung's top gaming models, but for the price, it's impressive. The only real downsides are the lack of local dimming and the limited viewing angles, but given the affordable price for a 4K Samsung TV, these are pretty minor issues. Number 4. Samsung Neo. Now, we're stepping into serious territory with the QN90F. And this is where Samsung's Neo QLED technology really starts to flex. We're looking at about $1,299 for the 55 inches model, scaling up to around $3,499 for the 85 inches version, which honestly isn't bad considering what you're getting here. The Quantum Mini LEDs are the real star of the show. We're talking about thousands of these tiny LEDs creating incredibly precise backlighting zones. What this means for you is that when you're watching a movie with dark scenes, the blacks actually look black instead of that washed-out gray you get with cheaper TVs. The Vision AI processing is where things get really interesting. And I'll be honest, I was skeptical at first, but this thing actually learns your viewing habits and optimizes the picture accordingly. It recognizes what type of content you're watching, whether it's a dark thriller, a bright sports game, or an animated movie, and adjusts everything from brightness to color saturation automatically. The anti-glare screen coating works way better than I expected to. I've got this thing set up in a room with windows, and even during bright afternoons, I can still see everything clearly without having to close all the blinds. Gaming on this TV is absolutely fantastic, especially if you've got a PS5 or Xbox Series X. We're talking 4K at 120 Hz with variable rate refresh and auto low latency mode that kicks in automatically when it detects your console. The colors are vibrant without being oversaturated, and the motion handling during fast-paced games is smooth as butter. The Tizen interface feels snappy and responsive, and Samsung's included some neat features like multi-view that lets you watch TV while keeping an eye on your smart home cameras or other apps. The only thing that might bug some people is that the TV is pretty thick compared to some ultra-thin models, but honestly, that's because there's actual technology packed in there. Number 3. Samsung The Frame. The Frame is one of those products that makes you wonder why nobody thought of it sooner, and Samsung has really perfected this concept over the years. You're looking at around $999 for the 43 inches model up to about $2,999 for the 75 inches version. Plus, you'll want a budget for the bezels and ArtStore subscription. But hear me out on why this might be worth every penny. When this TV is off, it literally disappears into your wall as a piece of art. I'm not exaggerating. I've had friends walk into my living room and not even realize there's a TV there until I turn it on. The customizable bezels are genius. You can swap between different styles and colors to match your room's aesthetic. And they attach magnetically, so it takes about 2 seconds to change them. Samsung's ArtStore has thousands of pieces ranging from classic paintings to modern photography, and you can even upload your own photos to display. The matte anti-reflection screen is crucial here because it really sells the illusion that you're looking at a real framed piece of art rather than a TV screen. The picture quality when you're actually watching content is solid QLED performance with good color reproduction and decent brightness, though it's not quite as impressive as Samsung's other QLED models in the same price range. What makes the frame special isn't just the art mode, though. It's how seamlessly it integrates into your living space. The slim-fit wall mount makes it sit almost flush against the wall, and the nearly invisible cable solution keeps everything clean looking. The motion sensor automatically turns the art display on and off based on whether someone's in the room, which is a nice touch for saving energy. Gaming performance is respectable at 4K 60Hz with good input lag, and the smart features are all there with Tizen. This isn't the TV you buy if you want the absolute best picture quality for movies, but if you care about how your living space looks and feels, the frame transforms a TV from an eyesore into actual home decor. Number 2. Samsung QN90F. The QN990F is Samsung's 8K flagship. And honestly, this is where we start getting into, am I really about to spend this much on a TV territory? We're talking $2,799 for the 65 inches model, and it goes up from there with the 85 inch version hitting around $5,999. But here's the thing about 8K. Even though there's barely any native 8K content available, Samsung's AI upscaling is so good that it almost doesn't matter. This TV takes your regular 4K content and makes it look noticeably sharper and more detailed than it has any right to. The Neo QLED technology here is basically Samsung showing off everything they can do. We're talking about even more quantum mini LEDs than the QN90F, creating incredible contrast and brightness levels that can go toe-to-toe with some OLED displays while still maintaining that LED brightness advantage. The Object Depth Enhancer uses AI to analyze each scene and add subtle depth cues that make everything feel more three-dimensional. It sounds gimmicky, but when you're watching nature documentaries or action movies, the effect is genuinely impressive. The anti-glare coating is even better than the QN90F, making this usable in basically any lighting condition. Gaming is where this TV really justifies its existence if you're someone who cares about future-proofing. We're getting 8K at 60Hz and 4K at 120Hz with all the variable rate refresh and low latency features you could want. The AI optimization works in real time during gaming, too, adjusting settings based on the type of game you're playing. The sound system is surprisingly good for a TV. Samsung's built in a pretty capable array that actually provides decent bass and clear dialogue without needing an immediate soundbar upgrade. The build quality is absolutely premium, and the Tizen interface handles all that processing power without any lag or stuttering. The main downsides are obvious. It's expensive. It's power hungry, and you're paying for 8K resolution that most content can't fully utilize yet. But if you want the most advanced display technology Samsung offers and you've got the budget for it, this thing is impressive. Number 1. Samsung S95F. The S95F is Samsung's answer to LG and Sony's OLED dominance. And honestly, they might have just pulled it off. Starting at around $1,899 for the 55 inches model and going up to about $3,799 for the 77 inches version. This represents Samsung's best attempt at combining OLED's perfect blacks with their own quantum dot color technology. The result is what Samsung calls QDLE, and the picture quality is absolutely stunning. Each pixel can turn completely off for true blacks, but the quantum dots provide color brightness and saturation that often surpasses traditional OLED panels. The Vision AI processing here is the most advanced Samsung offers, and it really shows. The TV recognizes faces, objects, and different types of content to optimize everything from color temperature to motion smoothing in real time. HDR performance is exceptional. Both Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus look incredible with highlights that can get surprisingly bright for an OLED while maintaining those perfect black levels. The anti-reflection coating works well, though not quite as effectively as Samsung's Neo QLED models, which is typical for OLED technology. What really impressed me is how Samsung handled motion processing. Sports and action movies look smooth without that soap opera effect that ruins the cinematic feel. Gaming performance is where this TV becomes a serious contender for anyone building a high-end gaming setup. We're getting 4K at 120Hz with variable rate refresh, and the input lag is incredibly low. We're talking about competitive gaming levels of responsiveness. The OLED technology means instant pixel response times, so fast-moving objects in games look sharp and clear without any ghosting or blurring. Samsung's Game Bar provides real-time information about your connection and performance. And the Auto HDR tone mapping works with both PlayStation and Xbox to optimize the image for each specific game. The design is sleek with an ultra-thin profile that looks great wall-mounted, and the build quality feels appropriately premium. The main concerns with any OLED are potential burn-in with static images and overall brightness in very bright rooms. But Samsung's included several protective features and the brightness levels are higher than most OLEDs on the